Fantasy is a major part of every sports season, and it's always a lot of fun, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, or even hockey. However, what if the MLB did a fantasy draft in real life with a full draft lottery and everything? Well, that is what we're going to look at in this video. I went and created a draft lottery for every pick in the first round of a draft, and I'm going to see what the league would look like if every team got one new player to add to their squad. I will be splitting this video into two parts because if it was all in one part, it would probably be 30 plus minutes. So I'm just going to do part 1 and part 2. I hope to have part 2 out next weekend, but without further ado, let's get into part 1 of this fantasy draft. Let's start out with how I did this. So the basis of this whole thing is the top 45 players this year in terms of F-WAR have been removed off of their teams and are available to be picked by any team in the league. Any players that are not drafted after the first 30 picks that were part of that player pool will be put back on their original teams. The reason I did 45 players is so that we have a bigger player pool to pick from, because I'm not just going to be going down the list of war leaders and giving them to different teams. That's just not entertaining. So, moving on to how I made the draft order, I used a picker wheel, and I used the standings from the All-Star break because this video took a while to make, and standings change almost every day. So, this was just way more consistent to use the standings from the All-Star break. So, the way I did it is, since the Rockies had the worst record at the break, they got 30 spots on this wheel, and then the White Sox had the second worst record, so they got 29 spots on the wheel, and so on. And then if we're going backwards, the Tigers had the best record in the league at the break, so they only had one spot on this wheel. The wheel was shuffled after every team was chosen, and of course, once a team was chosen, all of their slots on the wheel were removed. Another thing I would like to mention is that contracts will not be a part of this because there are some very cheap owners in this league, and they may not take a generational talent just because they don't want to pay them that contract. So we're not going to be paying attention to contracts at all. With that, let's finally get into this draft. Starting out with the Cleveland Guardians, who got the first pick in this draft. And if we just didn't do a lottery and just went by record at the All-Star break, they would have had the 9th pick, but they did jump up and get lucky. And for this one, we don't even need to look at their roster. This pick is going to be Shohei Ohtani. There's no reason not to take him here. He's one of the best hitters in the league, and every 5th day, he can be one of the best starting pitchers in the league. He throws 100 when he's at his best. Nasty splitter, nasty sweeper. He does literally everything, and while Aaron Judge is a better hitter in my opinion, if you can get a hitter close to Aaron Judge's caliber, who can also run very well and is an above-average pitcher on top of that, I think this is a no-brainer. The only downside to this for the Guardians is they do lose out on Jose Ramirez, but I'm sure they can move guys around, especially with Travis Bazzana coming up the pipeline. So Shohei, welcome to Cleveland. Next up is the Pittsburgh Pirates, who would have been the 4th pick in this draft. So not a huge jump up, but for Pittsburgh, it is a big move because they can get Aaron Judge. They do lose Paul Skeens in this draft, but I wasn't going to have them retake him when Aaron Judge is available. Brian Reynolds is the current right fielder for the Pirates, and he's a good player and all, but I don't think that he can really make up for Aaron Judge's talent. The Pirates will not get rid of Reynolds if they had Judge. They could just move him over to left field, put him in center, and Tommy Pham is fine, but Reynolds can play left field over Tommy Pham. A 2-time MVP, Judge is the current leader in WAR this year, even with missing some time and not playing the field for like a month and a half, so that he is the clear and obvious pick here. Judge, I hope you like Pittsburgh. Maybe you can help them win something, but it may be difficult because no more Paul Skeens. Moving on to the 3rd pick, and it is the San Francisco Giants, who would have been 19th in this draft, so they have a huge jump here. And the only player who is in this player pool from their team is Logan Webb, because their second highest WAR player this year is Matt Chapman, who is 46th in WAR, and we're only doing the top 45, so they luck out there a little bit. And the next highest WAR player this year who hasn't been picked is Cal Raleigh, and I think I'm going to pick him here. Now, will he hit this home runs every single year? Probably not. Would he hit as many home runs if he played his home games in San Francisco instead of Seattle? Who knows? But the Giants' starting catcher is Patrick Bailey, and while Bailey is an awesome defender, first of all, Cal is also a great defender. He has a platinum glove to his name, and Patrick Bailey is a really, really bad hitter when you all break it down. Cal is the greatest offensive catcher in the league right now. He has 56 home runs. He broke the Mariners' all-time record. He broke the single-season record for switch hitters and catchers. He's close to catching Aaron Judge. So I'm going to go with him here. Cal, welcome to the Bay Area. Next up, with the number 4 pick, is the Minnesota Twins, jumping up 10 spots from number 14 to number 4. And they need any help they can get after trading over half of their team at the deadline. So I'm going to have them take Bobby Witt Jr. This guy's awesome. He definitely would have won the AL MVP last year if not for Aaron Judge. And he is having another awesome year. As long as he doesn't have a crazy power surge and hit like 9 home runs the rest of the year, he's not going to get a third straight 30 season. But still, 20 home runs and 30 steals is still crazy. He is insanely fast, and he's second in baseball in OAA. This guy does literally everything, and so he is definitely an upgrade for the Twins, who their starting shortstop was Carlos Correa, but obviously he was traded back to the Astros, and they could move Brooks Lee to second. Plus, you get Bobby off the division rival into your team. So Bobby Witt Jr., welcome to Minnesota. The Nationals have the 5th pick in this fantasy draft, which is actually our first drop of the video, as they would have had the 3rd pick. But they're still going to have the 5th pick, and the 5th-ranked player in terms of WAR this year kind of surprised me. It's actually Geraldo Perdomo of the Arizona Diamondbacks, but that's not who I'm going to have the Nationals take. They already have C.J. Abrams, who is a very solid shortstop, and they don't lose anyone in this draft, so they end up getting pretty lucky here. In this case, I'm actually going to give them Paul Skeens to plug into their rotation alongside Mackenzie Gore. After Perdomo, the next best guys in terms of WAR this year are Trey Turner and then Tarek Skubal and then Skeens, but I'm actually going to go with Skeens here over those guys. While Trey Turner is a better player than Perdomo, the same logic kind of applies with the Nats already having C.J. Abrams. So for me, it ultimately came down to Skubal or Skeens, and I ended up going with Skeens. These guys are the 2 best pitchers in the league right now and are probably both going to win the Cy Young Award in their respective leagues this year. But I went with Skeens just because he's so young and has been so dominant his entire time in the major leagues. Plus, there was a legitimate shot that the Pirates took Dylan Cruz at number 1 instead of Paul Skeens, and Skeens went to the Nationals at 2. So we get to see what that would have looked like with him also getting to play with his college teammate. Moving on to the 6th pick in this draft, and it is going to the Chicago White Sox, who will drop from number 2, and I'm going to have them take Skubal. I mentioned him in the last part of the video when I was talking about Skeens, but he's going to go here to Chicago. The only downside to this is the White Sox don't have a very good offense, but they can then build around Skubal and maybe be in playoff contention again soon. So Tarek Skubal, welcome to Chicago. The 7th pick in this draft goes to the Kansas City Royals, jumping up 6 spots from number 13. And here, I'm going to have them take Juan Soto. Turner and Perdomo are still on the board, and I know the Royals already lost Bobby Witt Jr., but I think you have to take Juan Soto over both of those guys, just because he's Juan Soto, plain and simple. Soto is having an unbelievable year with the Mets after a semi-rocky start, but he's set a career high in home runs. He's stealing more bases than ever before, and he's still an on-base king, not to mention he is 26 years old. I think this is a no-brainer, so welcome to KC, Juan Soto. The Atlanta Braves get the 8th pick in this draft with just a small drop from number 7 to number 8, and here I am going to have them take Trey Turner for 2 main reasons. Number 1, the Braves don't really have a solid everyday shortstop. They've been playing Nick Allen every single day up until they acquired Ha-Sung Kim off waivers from the Rays. And while those guys are both excellent defenders and Ha-Sung Kim can hit a little bit, Trey Turner is just much better. The other reason I'm going to have them take Turner is because they get him off of their division rival Phillies. Turner has become a better defender over the last few years. He can still run the bases well, and obviously he's still a good hitter. So I think this is a good choice. So Trey, welcome to Atlanta. The Cardinals have received the 9th pick in this draft, jumping up from number 12, and they don't lose anyone here, so they get the privilege of getting Jose Ramirez. This guy's so good. He finishes in the top 5 in MVP voting almost every year. He can run. He can hit like crazy. He just got his another 30-30 season. He's just overall a really, really good player. And I know the Cardinals have Nolan Arenado at third base, but he is getting older. There's been talk of him being traded, so I think this is the move here. J-Ram, welcome to St. Louis. A third of the way through, and we have the Marlins at the 10th pick in this draft, dropping from number 8, and I'm going to have them take Corbin Carroll. I actually think this is a really nice pick for the Marlins, who are a super young team and showed some potential this year. Carroll is another one of those young, dynamic guys. He'll slot into this team nicely. He can hit for power, hit for contact, run like crazy, and field pretty well, too. I think this is a really good pick for the Marlins to boost their offense and maybe be a contender again soon. So welcome to South Florida, Corbin Carroll. Next up is the Angels at number 11, and I have them taking Fernando Tatis Jr. as they jump 2 spots from number 6. I know they have Mike Trout playing right field, but Trout can move to left, where I think he may even get less action, or he could just be a full-time DH. And Tatis can slide into right field, play awesome defense while being a crazy good hitter too. He's played 150 games for the first time in his career this year, and if he can stay healthy, he can definitely help this Angel team, who were competing in the first half a good amount. Fernando, welcome to Anaheim. 4 more picks left in this video, and then the remaining 15 will be in the next video, and my Mets have the 12th pick, and we have the first team that picks one of their current players. Francisco Lindor is not leaving New York. I just wasn't going to let it happen. The Mets already lost Juan Soto to the Royals in this draft, so they can't afford to lose another superstar. But I probably would have taken Lindor in this spot anyway, no matter what team it was. He's just so good. He's only 3 home runs away from another 30-30 season. He is an incredibly good defender at shortstop. He's just the full package, and he's a clubhouse leader for this Mets team, so he is going to be staying in Queens. The 13th pick goes to the Rockies as they fall all the way from number 1, and I'm going to skip down to the 20th best player this year in terms of WAR. But there is a reason to that. I'm taking Matt Olson. My reasoning for this is I'm definitely not taking a pitcher, first of all, because his career would go south so fast pitching in Coors Field, and I don't want to go with like a contact speed fielding guy, because while they probably would hit more home runs than they normally would, and they would be fun to watch, that's not that fun. So I'm bringing someone in Matt Olson, who has hit 50 home runs before playing in Atlanta, and would probably hit 60 playing his home games in Coors Field, while playing good defense at first base. So I think this is a really good move for the Rockies. So Matty-O, welcome to Colorado. The penultimate pick of the video goes to the formerly Oakland, currently Sacramento, soon to be Las Vegas Athletics, who fall from number 3 down to number 14, and they do lose their rookie first baseman Nick Kurtz in this pool, but he's down at 34, so if he's not taken, we'll get him back. But for now, they don't really have a first baseman. However, I'm actually going to have them take the 3rd pitcher selected in this draft, and that's going to be Christopher Sanchez, who's having an awesome breakout season for the Phillies, and is probably going to finish in 2nd place in the Cy Young voting in the National League behind Paul Skeens. A big reason for this pick is the A's still have 2 more years playing in Sacramento before their big move to Las Vegas, and that is a really hard ballpark for most pitchers to pitch in because of the fact that it is quite literally a minor league stadium. And so having a really good pitcher who also has a 50% ground ball rate will help out a team that has a pretty decent offense, but not a good pitching staff a lot. So Christopher Sanchez, welcome to Sacramento. Hope you enjoy moving to Las Vegas in 2 years. The final pick of this video goes to the Arizona Diamondbacks, dropping from 11 to 15, and I'm not going to have them take Geraldo Perdomo back. While he doesn't have as high of a WAR this season as Perdomo, this guy, I think he's just better overall, and that guy's going to be Jeremy Pena. Pena, the former ALCS and World Series MVP, is having his best season in terms of WAR this year of his career. He is a good hitter. He's in the 94th percentile for OAA and the 97th percentile for sprint speed. So he's a 5-tool player without a doubt, and I think he is an upgrade at shortstop for the Diamondbacks. Plus, we know he has the clutch gene, which the Diamondbacks need for the playoffs. So Pena, welcome to Arizona. So that will do it for part 1 of this video. I really hope you guys liked this one. All of the wheel spins to create the draft order took forever to do, between adding teams to the wheel, removing them, spinning it, shuffling, but I think it was worth it in the end. I really like this idea of a world where there was a fantasy draft in real life and really good players could join different teams that maybe otherwise they would never get a chance to play for. So if you liked the video, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to my channel down below. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, be sure to drop a rating or a review, download the podcast, and subscribe. Also, make sure you have notifications on for both YouTube and Apple Podcasts so you never miss when I upload. Follow me on Instagram to see a lot of my card designs over there. The tag is Around the Diamond 2. The link is in my channel description. And also check out Around the Diamond Designs. While I do post most of my cards on my Instagram, I don't post all of them. And there are also some jersey and hat designs on there I've never posted anywhere else. So check that out. The link is also in my channel description. Really quick before we wrap it up, I just want to say congratulations to Mike Trout on hitting his 400th home run of his career. It's a huge milestone. He absolutely deserves it. The guy's a Hall of Famer, and so I'm going to show off this card art I made for him right now. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to have part 2 out next weekend, so I hope you're ready for that. But as for now, I will see you in the next one. Peace!